Hi, grade fours. It's Miss Purdy. Today we're going to talk about the difference between perimeter and area. I've posted that song again, so if you want to listen to that and help you remember, that's good. I want to show you some of your activities for today, though, because you're going to be asked to find perimeter and area, so you really need to remember what the difference is. So if you look at the screen here, we've got a shape, and it's made of little squares. What I forgot to write on here is that each square is 1 centimeter. All right. So P stands for perimeter, A stands for area. So we're going to find the perimeter and the area, assuming that each square is 1 centimeter again. Now, when I count the perimeter, I know it's measuring around the outside. I always like putting a little dot where I start. Otherwise, you can go around and around and around, and sometimes you forget where you started. So there are a few ways to do this. I'm going to count each length. There's 1 centimeter, 2, 3. Sometimes I like to actually write it on the paper. In case I lose count, then I can go back and check. So that length is 3. There's 1, 2 centimeters there. And then going all the way around, I have to touch each edge, right? So there's 1, and there's another 1. 1 and 1. There's 1 centimeter, 1, 1. So I'm making sure I'm writing them all in. And then going up this side again is 2 more. So if I write the numbers down, now all I have to do is add them up. So I know I started here. So 3 plus 2 is 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, and 2 more is 12. So I know my perimeter is 12 centimeters. Okay. All right, I'm going to erase that so we can look at the area, because that's not going to help us with this one. All right, the area we know is the inside, the number of squares. This one's quite easy because we can actually see the squares. So we can just count them out if we wanted to. Area is how many squares are inside the shape. So you can see I'm labeling them, and I have 7. Not centimeters though. Remember, they're square centimeters, and we print that centimeter with that little symbol up there. Okay. All right, let's look at a different one. It's a very weird shape. I'm going to do the area first because it's a lot quicker. I'm not going to number them this time. I'm just going to count. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Oh, interesting. It's 7. Hold on. Hold on a second. This one had an area of 7. This one has an area of 7. They're not the same shape. That's interesting. I wonder if the perimeter is going to be the same. All right, so the area is 7 centimeters squared. Now, this one has a lot of 1s. Let's start here. Okay, so this time I'm not going to print the numbers. I'm just going to add it up in my head as I go along, but I am going to do little ticks so I know I've counted each side. So there's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16. So the perimeter, the distance around the shape, is 16 centimeters. Well, hold on. But that one was only 12. Is it possible then that two shapes can have the same area but different perimeters? We might have to investigate that more next time. Okay, so this is how you do it when you have the boxes. Sometimes though, like last week when you were working on area, you're going to get a shape where the boxes aren't drawn, but they tell you the measurement. When you're finding the area, this is where you use your formula, length times width. So to find the area of this shape, we're going to multiply 3 times 6. 3 times 6 is, yes, 18. So the area is 18 centimeters squared. Now for the perimeter you have to add up all the sides. So I'm going to start here. I'm going to add 3 centimeters plus 6. Uh-oh, these ones aren't labeled. But I can see it's a rectangle. So I know this one is also going to be a 3 because the one across was, and this one over here is also going to be a 6. So when I add up my numbers, I have 3 plus 6, which makes 9, 10, 11, 12, and 18. So my perimeter is 18 centimeters, not centimeters squared because we're not measuring area. Isn't that interesting though that both came out to 18? We'll have to investigate that again. All right, one last thing. Sometimes you may get a shape like this where only one side is labeled. You can see on this one, all we know is that one side is 5 meters. But do you see these little lines here? Those are like equal signs. They mean that each side is the same length. So if this side is 5 meters, this one would be 5 meters, that one's 5 meters, so is that one. So it's a square, okay? So now to find our perimeter, we just add up 5, this one's 5, plus 5, plus 5, plus 5 is, yes, 20. And it's meters this time. Okay. To find the area, again, even though it's a square, we know a square is a rectangle. So we're still going to use our formula of area equals length times width. So the length is 5, we know that. What's the width though? Right, it's 5. It's also 5. So length times width is 5 times 5. So our area of the square is 25, not centimeters this time. Watch out, because sometimes they do that to trick you. It's 25 meters squared. We always need that little squared symbol when we're finding area. So in your work today, those are the kinds of activities you're going to do. You're going to have one page that has shapes like these ones with the squares, and you can use whichever strategy works for you. And then the second page, you're just going to have measurements. I've already put the centimeters squared on the pages for you because again it's tricky to type, but I have not filled in where it says centimeters. So please make sure you are using your units and adding that in. If you just said 18, I would have to ask you to go back and fix it. All right, so that's your activity for today. Remember, you can send me a private comment if you have any questions, and I look forward to chatting with you soon.